What is going on, Colts Nation? He is Jamal, and I'm Eric, your co-host of the Colts Cast.
Yo.
Hey, look, the Indianapolis Colts are heading back to Lucas Oil Stadium to host the Chicago Bears on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Colts will be looking for their first win of the season, unfortunately, while the Bears want to go above 500 for probably the first time in a long time. Two of the NFL's most talented quarterbacks square off. Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams. Say what you want to say, but Richardson is talented. Caleb Williams, first overall pick. A lot of expectations on him. Let's talk about Jamal. How are we going to secure this win? I almost said tomorrow. How are we going to secure this win Sunday?
Well, first off, go and hit that like and subscribe button. Let us know you're here. Hey, hit that like button if you want the Colts to win against the Bears. Hit that like button. Let us know how you feeling about it. Drop your comments below. I know all the Bears fans are gonna roll through your heard Eric, though, that little jab he said the first time, and he don't know how long they've been over 500.
Oh yeah, so. I just threw that out of my ass. But
hit them comments up. Let them know. But I don't know, man. I think, like you mentioned, this game is such a detrimental game to both squads. I mean, both teams have so much to prove right now. Both teams have been in close battles with the same team. We saw what the Bears did against the Texans here just the other day. We saw what we did against the Texans the other day. And, of course, the Bears got that first dub against the Titans. The stage is set.
Hold on. They got that win because Will Levis will not let a play die. This dude just threw it. Oh, my God.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Then I'm glad because I think that could potentially be one of the strengths of the Colts for this game going in, because Caleb Williams, he kind of has that factor of not wanting the play to die as well. He moves around in that pocket. He's constantly trying to go around in circles. And at this at this level where everybody is at the top tier level, where anybody can hawk you down, that be a D lineman, a linebacker, anybody, I think that could bring some challenges for Caleb. Obviously, we know that we're going to be short D-Buck. I believe they said Latu may be sitting out as well. So we're going to have some new pieces or in the rotation with our defensive line. But with that said, I mean, we're talking about a Bears offensive line who's not the hottest right now. And if Caleb Williams is going to be back there scrambling around waiting for the play to develop, this is the perfect opportunity for a poor starting defensive line for the Colts to actually get a chance to get in there and make some plays, because Caleb is going to try to extend that play every single time he gets a chance to. So if the D-line can figure out a way to get past these offensive linemen and shake up Williams in the backfield, I think that's an open season for sacks, which would then open up the door for a whole new style game for the Colts. So I know that that was a little jabby through right there, but I mean, I think that the proof is in the pudding when it comes to kind of that rolling that Williams does. So
I hope so, man, because no Latu most likely. I mean, we saw the injury report. It looks like Matt Gay, Julian Blackman, Josh Downs, Kenny Moore, Ronnie Thomas, they all practice in full. I expect them to see them Sunday, but of course, Latu did not participate. Forrest Buckner we're going to lose him for the foreseeable future, hit the IR. I hope so, Jamal, because I think this defensive line is going to be challenged.
For sure.
Like I don't think the Bears O-line is as bad as everyone thinks. I mean, I think after 2 weeks, I've been hearing media just talking about, they should have drafted Roman Dunze. Like they should have just picked up offensive line, stop trying to get all the star skill players, build the line first, which may be true. But I know, I felt like the Bears offensive line wasn't that bad last year. It was just more Justin Fields, just, he loved to take sacks. I really think, I mean, we talk about we have to get to the quarterback, we have to get to Caleb Williams, but our run defense, I think it's got to start there.
Sure.
Can we stop DeAndre Swift? I mean, he has averaged through 2 weeks, he has averaged 2 yards per carry, 2 yards per carry on 24 carries. But history, I mean, shows, at least for 2024 season, dictates he's about to break out against this
all-star Pro Bowl numbers.
this man about to put all pro numbers, first team against this run defense. Even Caleb Williams, I'm a little worried about that. He's a threat on the ground. I don't think people talk about that enough, but he's actually their leading rusher so far. It's by I think he's only got like 59 yards, but I mean, he's their leading rusher. He has wheels. I just, I'm gonna make this crystal clear because I was a little like, oh man, I think Bradley can bounce back. Dog, if DeAndre Swift rushes for over 125 rushing yards against him, they better send Gus Bradley a ticket to fucking McDonald's or something. He better be fired before we even get back to the bus, bro. I don't even care if we win the game by 28. If we allow Swift and Caleb Williams to rush for over 200 rushing yards, I'm not doing this all year, man. I'm not. You have to be able to set your players up for success. They did it last year. Like our run defense was pretty solid last year, I thought. You have the same personnel. This isn't like it's a completely new team. You added Raekwon Davis, you added Latu. You've retained all of your players, and yet the floodgates have opened up the middle, off the edge. Like I can't go through another week of that, man. I'm giving Gus Bradley one more week.
One more week.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
One more week.
I mean, we probably need to reevaluate at the end of the year anyway, and just he might need to go, period. But he definitely need to go. If Swift, who is, I mean, bruh, like 2 yards per carry. That's all I'm gonna say. That this Bears offense hasn't looked really scary, and I guarantee you. Oh, I hate to say it, but they're gonna do something against us Sunday. I don't think they're gonna be this limited. I mean, I think Williams threw for under 100 yards passing the first week. It just, I think they got too much talent. So
they do. And just to be clear, going back to what you were saying earlier, I'm 100%. My first focal point is that run defense. I only said the Caleb Williams things because you mentioned Will Levis, but that's a different beast. But 100% has to be the run defense. If Swift goes out there and does what we've seen the past 2 weeks on our defense, it is over. It's over. It's just that plain and simple. Because if he opens up, it's going to be you think it's going to be a bad day for him or a good day for him. It's going to be a great day for Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams will then open up. He'll build that confidence, and these people have the chance to have a career game. I mean, and there's no question about it. I think it's going to be a high-flying game overall between the Colts and the Bears because I do think for some reason, somewhere down the line, both of these offenses will start to click better, and they'll start to and Williams and Richardson will kind of get in their bag. I've excuse me, I watched the Bears, and I know that Williams hasn't looked too comfortable, but it's when I see what we have, and we saw what Malik Willis was able to do, I have very high confidence that if Caleb Williams can get comfortable, he can find his groove. Does that mean they win? We'll get to that in a few minutes, but I think that he has the opportunity to find his groove. So we just have to stop that run. We have to stop the passing game. Again, I know you're like, oh, that's involved. I mean, that's the entire thing. Well, yeah, clearly that's the entire reason. We have to get control of the ball. I mean, we're talking about a Colts team who the defense has been on the field for 2/3 of the amount of time of the game. The offense has been on there for 1/3 of the time. That says it all right there. So some of this is because it's been poor play from the defense. Some of this, I'm sure we all know, it's from fatigue. I mean, at some point you get gassed. You get gassed from being on the field for that long. So they got to figure out what's going on because we cannot start this game off by letting them run up and down the field. Even if they only get field goals out of this, we can't leave those points we can't let points get on the board, and we can't allow them to keep advancing down the field, play over play.
Yeah. Jim Bob Cooter talked about that this week, talking about time of possession and how we have to be able to sustain drives. And I really think adding Josh Downs right here, getting him back, man, Anthony Richardson's probably missed him so much.
Sure.
I think he's going to be a factor into this game. But no, you're right. Just we got to take some layups, man. We got to take some layups. We can't always go for that big play down the field. But bright side, Caleb Williams, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet. I don't expect this offense to just flourish over us, but I won't be surprised. Like if this man throws 3 passing touchdowns, rushes for 1, I'm just gonna be like, well, I mean, we're not started, but like, Taven Bryan, he's out there probably 50% of the snaps. So it's, I will say this offensive line has been top notch. And we talked about them being a top 10, maybe top 5 unit in the NFL in the offseason. They are certified. the best offensive line I think this season so far. Will Fries has been a complete revelation. I has he allowed a sack? I don't know. He's our guard play has been immense. Like Quentin Nelson looks like he's back in his prime. But our complete line as a whole has just been it's been amazing. And I love that. Because during the Andrew Luck times, it was always about the run game. Didn't have a run game, didn't have an offensive line. And we have both of those here with Anthony Richardson to help with his development. I'm loving it. Shout out to Shane Steichen, Jim Bob Cooter, all of them to just get this offensive line where it needed to be.
Yeah, the offensive line, of course, that's the hidden gem. I mean, and people know that offensive line is good. And again, when these guys like Quentin are playing at their full potential, we've been spoiled by it for years. But when they start playing at their full potential, you're like, oh, this is what we've been waiting on. And these guys have been really good the entire time. And speaking on that, I mean, we talked about JT who played 3 quarters for us last week and was able to dominate. I mean, I think he had like 8.6 per carry. We got to utilize that when the line is clicking like they are. JT has to be in there. I don't want to see. I don't foresee as many drop balls as we saw from the wide receivers last week. Hopefully, the ones that hit their numbers and hit their hands don't hit the ground. You can't really help the overthrown, underthrown, whatever, however you want to slice it. But again, allowing JT to get the rock, do what he does, and capitalize on that. Don't just stop whenever he's breaking these 10, 12-yard runs. Continue to let him do it.
You know why he wasn't on the field in the fourth quarter, right?
What was that?
Pass pro. We
Yeah.
talked about that.
Yeah.
So I always thought JT was at least decent in that department, but looking at some film last week, I see why Steichen made that decision, put Trey Sermon in. It's just it sucks because you're right, Jamal. JT needs the ball at least 20 times a game, at least, like at the very least, because he was absolutely hammering them in the run game. But they basically abandoned that run game in the fourth quarter, didn't want to use JT. And not only did I think JT had a drop as well, but, he was getting decimated in that pass pro.
Yeah.
So it just, I think there's 2 sides of that. One, we're missing JT. He's an elite threat. He adds a different element to the offense. You take JT out the field, you're one-dimensional. They know what you're about to do, most likely. So they can play the numbers in the pass game. But yeah, it's just it's a hard decision. I can't blame Shane Steichen for that. But I can see why fans are mad that he's not on the field. So
yeah, for sure. And again, it goes back to what you said. The pass pro, it has to be there. It definitely has to. But these are situations where, again, with the Colts, when we get on the field, we have to capitalize on as many drives as we can. Even though we weren't on the field as much as we would have liked to, there were a ton of 3-and-outs that were just questionable, where we were underthrowing every third down. We really weren't getting ourselves in position on first and second down to have a layup for third down. We were still hitting 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 7. So of course, then at that point, we're retreating. So now we're having to figure out a new way, and we become one-dimensional because they know, hey, well, we got to pass the ball. We got to change out who's going to be on the field. So I definitely think it's easy for us to point fingers on what we think is right or what we think is wrong, but it just has to be more cohesive on first and second down. We can't just rely on these explosive plays. We have to rely on.
Yeah, no, I agree, Jamal. Just can't just do explosive plays, can't do logo threes. Got to be able to do those dunks, those layups, those high percentage plays to get the chains moving and kind of set up for those big chunk plays. But I think this is a perfect bounce back game for Anthony Richardson and this offense. I want to say the defense, but I said that last week, even though we knew the game plan going into the game and still couldn't stop it. So it's going to be tough. But like you said, he had to deal with a litany of drops last week. I just don't expect that to be the case again. I think a law of averages kicks in. These guys are going to catch the ball especially after last week, these guys are going to catch the ball. I expect Jonathan Taylor to get a few more carries, a few more touches. I still like this team, pretty high on them.
Yeah.
We're 0-2. I know history says they don't make the playoffs too often, but I think we can bounce back, be 2-2, and all of a sudden, doors open for us to even take the AFC South. Like that's not even out the case either. But Josh Downs is coming back. I like this team. Life should be good. Colts win 38-10.
Finishing off strong. On that, no, I'm not even gonna give my thing. We eating on that. I'm in on that. 38-10. Go ahead, dog.
That's all I got, man.
That's all I got too. Colts get the dub, like you said. I'm curious to see how it's gonna be. Bears fans, y'all gonna be in the stadium. I know it. Excited to see what's gonna be out there. But Colts fans, let's get this thing rocking again. If you're still here, drop your comments below. Hit that like button. Let us know that you want the Colts to win, and tell us your predictions down low.
Yeah, I don't want no beef with another fan base. I got Texas fans listening to the entire episode now.
And they still come back next episodes about another team. It's wild.
Yeah, they come in dressed up in what are the Packers colors? Yellow and green. Yeah. Come dressed up like that. Hey, that's gonna be it for us, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Colts Cast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts, and we'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. I'll take care.
Take it easy.